Why modern men become addicted to pornography fantasy. A man can conquer nations and still be defeated by his own impulses. There is a silent addiction spreading across modern society, not through needles, not through alcohol, not through violence, but through screens, private screens, dark rooms, endless stimulation, artificial desire, porn hub, and millions of men are trapped inside it. Not because they are evil, not because they are monsters, but because something inside them is starving. Pornography was never only about lust. That is the illusion. Beneath the surface, this addiction reveals something far darker about the modern human mind. Loneliness, emptiness, escapism, emotional suppression, the collapse of masculine discipline, the inability to sit alone with suffering, and perhaps the most disturbing truth of all, modern society profits from weak attention spans, overstimulated minds, and emotionally dependent men. Because a distracted man is easier to control. The brain was never designed for this. The human brain evolved in scarcity. For most of human history, intimacy required effort, attraction required courage, connection required patience. A man had to develop character, face rejection, build confidence, become valuable. But modern stimulation changed everything. Now the brain receives unlimited novelty, endless fantasy, instant gratification, artificial intimacy without effort, without patience, without discipline. And the brain cannot fully distinguish between real reward and simulated reward. This is where the trap begins. Psychologists call this dopamine conditioning. Dopamine is not happiness. It is anticipation. It is pursuit. It is craving. And pornography creates an unnatural flood of stimulation that the primitive brain was never prepared to handle. Every new image, every new scene, every new fantasy creates another spike, another reward, another cycle. And slowly, the mind becomes conditioned to seek easy stimulation instead of meaningful struggle. The age of endless stimulation. Friedrich Nietzsche once warned about what he called the last man, a weak modern human who seeks only comfort, entertainment, pleasure, distraction, a man who avoids pain at all costs, a man who no longer seeks greatness. Today, that prediction feels disturbingly accurate. Modern systems are built to keep human beings stimulated constantly. Social media, short videos, algorithms, gaming, pornography. Every platform fights for one thing: your attention, because attention has become currency. And pornography may be one of the most psychologically powerful attention traps ever created. Why? Because it hijacks one of the deepest biological drives in human existence: sexual desire. The brain becomes trapped in a cycle of craving, stimulation, temporary relief, emotional crash repetition over and over again. This is why many men describe the experience as compulsive, automatic, difficult to control, not because they lack intelligence, but because modern stimulation exploits ancient wiring. Carl Jung and the shadow. Carl Jung believed every human being carries a hidden psychological shadow. The shadow contains suppressed desires, hidden fears, rejected emotions, unconscious impulses. The more ignored the shadow becomes, the stronger it grows in darkness. This is why many addictions are not truly physical. They are emotional. A man may believe he watches pornography because of desire, but sometimes the deeper truth is loneliness, rejection, stress, emptiness, insecurity, emotional numbness. Pornography becomes emotional anesthesia, a temporary escape from inner discomfort, a private world where rejection disappears, insecurity disappears, loneliness disappears, pressure disappears. For a few moments, the mind feels relief, but afterward comes guilt, shame, emotional exhaustion, numbness, and the cycle repeats. Jung warned, Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Many men are not fighting lust alone. They are fighting unresolved emotional pain they never learned how to confront. Schopenhauer understood the trap. Arthur Schopenhauer believed human desire is endless. The moment one craving is satisfied, another appears. Pleasure never truly ends desire. It temporarily silences it, and pornography perfectly demonstrates this cycle. One video becomes two becomes 10. Novelty becomes necessary. The brain adapts quickly. What once felt stimulating becomes normal. Then stronger stimulation is required. This is how desensitization works. The danger is not only addiction. The danger is psychological conditioning. The mind slowly loses sensitivity to real intimacy, patience, emotional connection, ordinary life. Reality begins to feel slower than fantasy, and fantasy begins to replace reality. The collapse of discipline. Throughout history, many philosophies taught that discipline creates freedom, but modern culture teaches the opposite. It says, indulge every impulse, feed every craving, escape discomfort immediately. Never feel bored, never feel silence, never feel emptiness. But silence is where self-awareness begins. And many people fear silence because silence forces confrontation with the self. Pornography often thrives in isolation, boredom, emotional discomfort, stress, lack of purpose. Not because the body is weak, but because the mind seeks escape. A distracted man rarely confronts his failures, his fears, his loneliness, his lack of direction. Artificial pleasure becomes sedation. The industry of weak men. Niccolo Machiavelli understood something dark about human nature. People can be controlled through desire. Modern industries understand this deeply. The economy of attention depends on impulse stimulation, emotional dependency. Because disciplined people are harder to manipulate. A focused mind is dangerous. A distracted mind is profitable. And pornography is not isolated from this system. It exists inside a larger culture built around instant gratification, emotional dependency, compulsive scrolling, endless stimulation. The weaker attention becomes, the weaker discipline becomes. And when discipline collapses, people become easier to influence. Perhaps the darkest truth is this: many men are not addicted to pornography itself. They are addicted to escape. Escape from pressure, emotional pain, loneliness, failure, emptiness, meaninglessness. The screen simply became the doorway, and the modern world offers endless doorways for escape. But eventually, every man faces a choice: continue feeding impulse, or confront the deeper void hiding underneath it. Because no amount of stimulation can heal a mind that refuses to understand itself. And perhaps true strength begins the moment a man learns to sit alone, without distraction, without fantasy, without escape, and finally face the silence within himself. The greatest battle is not against desire itself, but against the unconscious mind that seeks comfort over truth. If this documentary challenged the way you think, then it has already served its purpose. The goal of Doctrine of Mind is not to tell you what to believe, but to help you see what most people never stop to question. Pornography is not merely a habit of the body. It is a battle of attention, perception, desire, and self-control. The moment you begin to understand the forces acting upon your mind, you gain the power to choose rather than react. If you value this kind of deep psychological exploration, consider subscribing to the channel and joining us for future documentaries on human nature, power, influence, philosophy, and the hidden mechanisms that shape modern life. Until next time, remember, the most dangerous prison is the one you cannot see. And the greatest form of freedom is understanding the mind that guides your actions. Stay curious, stay aware, and never stop questioning what controls you.